3, 2, 1. Welcome to Cash Cuties, a super personal finance podcast where we look at our friends' credit card statements and judge their spending habits. With love, I'm your host, Fumi Abe.
Hi, and I'm Steffi Bate.
And we're back for another week, babies. Steffi, it's been a minute. How are you doing financially?
I'm like super stoked because I got a new credit card after you shitted on my credit card last time. My plastic card, I had a Chase. Now,
Chase Freedom.
Yeah, I one-upped you with a metal card, and I got the Amex Platinum, baby.
Did it come?
Woo! Yeah, huh?
It came.
It came like in 2 days. They want me to spend it. They want me to use and do some shit with it. So now I'm like very excited, and it makes me feel so rich because now it's like I have all these points. It is a $700 credit card, but
a year.
But I made sure that
Was this a good decision?
It was a great decision.
Okay, go on.
Okay,
Why?
first of all, because I get to like shit on your card now.
That's true. You one up me. Yeah.
Yes. And there are so many ways I can make up for that credit. For the $700, it's way over the $700. I get like $400 in travel credit, so hotels and just traveling just generally.
Right.
I get $240 back in Uber or Uber Eats credit. Up to $240 on either Audibles or any sort of streaming platform. So I already signed up for Audibles, which I didn't really need, but now it's like I know.
I don't even. What is Audibles?
Audibles?
Is it like a podcast or books?
No, it's like a website. Yeah, it's like an app that you people just like read a book to you. Yeah, it's already it's like yeah, it's an Audible version of a book.
Okay. So what is that total? Everything you just described? What is that?
It's 400 or 500. That's over 800, I think, right now.
There's no way it's 800 because 700 is
no 400 400 in what did I just say right now? Travel. Yeah. Then 200 in Uber, so and then 200 in.
So you're saying
Audibles.
This card, they actually pay you to do it.
It's not paying. I have to use it in credit.
Like, it's not like they're gonna travel. You're gonna travel more than $400 worth a year, right?
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Uber's same thing.
Yeah.
So that's already 600. Yeah. And then you got the Audible, and what was the last one?
The Audible.
Is
that's a $200 credit.
Oh,
it could be Hulu. It could be Netflix.
Right.
The annoying one. Are you feeling like? Are you like jealous right now?
Well, I'll tell you why I feel a little insecure, but go ahead. you can finish your story.
I could give you some reasons.
Don't talk yet. You're not in this podcast yet.
God damn, he is angry. Yes, I like this.
Go on.
I like it because he's always one-upping me on everything financially. So this is like the whole point.
Okay.
And what else? I didn't tell you that it also gives me free lounge access to Centurion lounges, which are the best ones, apparently.
We don't know what that is. Hold on.
Your card allows you to, you have a Chase Reserve, right?
Yes.
Which is supposed to be like the premium of the Chase or whatever.
Yeah.
I get Priority Pass, which is what you would have anyways with that credit card. Priority Pass, it's all the select lounges.
Oh, the lounges.
Access.
See, we could talk about this with our guests later, but I don't understand lounges. I don't know where they are. I was specifically looking for them on this last trip from Ohio. I don't know if we have lounges in Ohio, but like I didn't see fucking shit. I don't know where these I saw like a Delta members club, but that's not what you're talking about, right?
No.
So I don't know where they are or what they are. But I guess I'm paying
You're
for
not
it, so.
You're not making the most out of your card right now.
Okay, wait, can I just say something? So I don't know, whenever we filmed episode 2, I was shitting on your stupid ass Chase Freedom card.
Yeah.
But then I was like reassessing my finances, and I actually downgraded my credit card from a reserve to preferred. Chase Reserve because Chase Sapphire Reserve is $550 a year.
Yeah,
and preferred is only $95 a year, and I was like, I don't know what 2023 is gonna look like, so I downgraded. So I guess my point is like your credit card is first appear than mine now.
Yeah, it is. And now we're going to go out so I can like throw down my card anytime we go eat. To make you feel embarrassed, I want you to feel ashamed.
I feel like I've turned you into a monster a little bit because you used to not care about this stuff, and now
I care a lot now.
Okay.
It's all because of this podcast.
That's great.
I'm going to be fucking so financially like smart and independent this year. It's going to be crazy.
But do you feel like, okay, here's my thing with Amex is that like you can't use it everywhere. And that's why I don't have that one. Because you're like, I'm going to throw it down.
Where the fuck are you traveling where you can't use an Amex? You're not going to like...
I don't ask every time. I just remember like in 2013, I remember like in New York, not all business took Amex.
I mean, that's true. But that's why I also have a Chase.
They should really sponsor us.
No, come on, Amex.
They should sponsor us.
Amex, please. I'm selling the shit out of your card. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And I know the point system if anyone wants to know anything about it. So how about you?
Well, my points or just
yeah, like
me?
just financially,
How
how
am
are
I
you
doing
doing?
financially?
Yeah. Sorry, we have to get to you.
No, I'm not as I mean, you kicked off 2023 like with this whole point journey. Good for you. I'm very happy for you. I feel like I started 2023 like panicking financially because like 2023 like I have to figure out comedy, right? We've talked about this. Like I'm not working anywhere anymore, so like I truly have to figure out everything. My residual checks have run out. They don't come in anymore, so I'm not getting random checks in the mail. So I went back to New York for New Year's, and I was like obviously doing shows and stuff, and I got coffee with my old boss at this like marketing company I used to work for, and it was like half catching up, half in my mind I was like, oh, maybe I'm gonna ask him if I can like work there again or part-time. That was my plan. And I go get coffee with him, and then he tells me that ever since so he's always wanted to be a screenwriter. when I left this company to write for Gordon, he was like, I was really inspired, and he quit his job. He fucking quit his job, so I can't ask for that job back anymore because he's not there anymore. What the fuck? Which is insane because that was like my whole backup plan. So then that all exploded. But then like I don't know, I talked to a lot of different people, and I've calmed down, and I've decided to sort of like figure out comedy. I think I'm gonna make it work. Okay. You know, we got a shout out on Uber last week, you know?
Yeah.
From this podcast.
That is so odd.
It is crazy because like it's one thing to ruin my life, but like I'm out here like inspiring other people. Like that's fucked up, you know? He has a family, he has a kid.
This I think happens a lot. He has a kid and he just left for fucking school to be a
they're not like poor or anything. It's just that like,
obviously
they have a
made
wife
money.
and they haven't figured out.
This is typical, I feel like, in Hollywood where people are like leaving their like real jobs to like obviously come to
this
Hollywood.
is New York. This is New York.
Well, okay, in New York as well, whatever, everywhere.
Yeah.
This is insane. Today I found out that like a producer for like the movie that I made, like the feature that I did, I found out that he was the VP. He's the one that wrote this movie.
Yeah.
He was the VP of Goldman Sachs.
He wrote this movie?
Yeah, he wrote this
my
movie.
God.
He wrote Collateral Damage.
With Tom
movie?
Cruise?
No.
And Jamie
Arnold
Foxx?
Schwarzenegger.
Oh, what am I thinking of?
Or I mean, is Tom Cruise in it too? I don't know. Maybe he is.
Okay.
It
But
doesn't
that's
matter.
a success story. Sorry, Shanna.
No, you can talk. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, this is a success story, but the success is going to come to you and maybe to that guy.
Yeah.
And then maybe he'll like.
Wait, I don't want to hear these stories because this is not. Every time I hear about like, oh, I worked at Facebook and made $400,000 and I sold a TV show to A24. I'm like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Like you can't have both. That's so fucked.
That's really
But
fucking
anyways,
rude.
so that's my plan B has been blown up. So now I have to figure it out. And so thank you for listening, and I hope you Venmo us money. Let's get to our guest. Our guest today, super excited to have her on.
Woo!
Good friend of mine. I forgot to ask how you wanted to be. How you wanted to be brought up. We don't really do credits on this podcast. We just sort of.
Yeah,
We introduce
just
you by
found out.
career, and we go by like, what is your job? So what how would you like me to bring you up? I have you down as a professional comedian / white woman.
He said white woman.
That's so rude.
Is it?
If you came on my podcast and I was like professional comedian / Asian guy,
But I am professionally Asian. I am. But okay, when people ask you what you do for a living, what do you say?
depends on where I am. If
Ooh!
I'm in an Uber, I'll say I'm a nurse.
Because you don't want to talk.
Because I don't want to talk. I don't
Love
want to
that.
hear like,
Yes.
oh, you work in comedy? Like I love comedy. Do you know fucking, who's
Yeah.
the guy, the predator, whatever.
Yeah. Chris D'Elia, love him.
Yeah, love him. And then or if I meet someone at a bar, I'll say marketing.
Why?
Because I don't want to talk about comedy.
Okay.
And if I'm
okay.
hitting on a guy or a guy's hitting on me and I'm interested,
Yeah.
the last thing a guy wants to hear is female comedian.
Because you have a lot of strong opinions. Guess.
Is it? I don't know. This comedian thing. I hear a lot of women, like comedians, say this. Is this like a real turnoff for like?
Well, because guys want to be funny. They want to be the funny ones. So when a girl's like, I'm a comedian, they either assume you're horrible or they assume that you're gonna be funnier. It's just like not a turn on.
So wait,
it's like a male model. You're like, ew, what are you doing?
I hate that.
Yeah.
Okay, I like this
So
analogy.
wait, okay, that's sad, and we'll talk about that. But what? Okay, if your parents say, "What do you do?"
You've heard my dating life, Fumi.
I know.
What
but,
part of my
but
dating life has
what's
been
on your
happy?
LinkedIn, dude? Like, what do you tell?
My LinkedIn, I'm in a bikini. Are you kidding me? I'm in a money bikini and a cowboy hat.
Oh my god. Okay.
That's
So we're just
amazing.
gonna go with comedian, I guess. You know, you're a professional comedian.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see how you make it work because you've had some success, but I know you've also some low points like all the other comedians. But please welcome to the show, Hanna Dickinson. Hannah, how are you doing financially?
Honestly, incredible.
Oh,
Love
hell
to hear
yeah.
that.
That's
You
hot.
never hear that from our kind.
Or wait, what do you? Oh,
White women.
In comedy.
white woman. Oh, yeah,
No,
a woman. Well,
comedian.
Well, white woman too, you know.
Yeah,
but I was not doing financially great until like honestly last year.
Wow.
Wait,
What
hold on a
changed?
second.
Wait, I want to
Well,
know.
wait. I don't think that's true. What were you doing?
I was
Whoa.
always doing okay, but I feel like now I've traveled a lot this year.
Yeah.
I was able to, you know, go shopping, and
Yeah.
I bought a apartment.
Yeah. Well, I just remember like I met you in like 2017 or so, and I never really thought of you as somebody who was dog walking because if I remember correctly, you moved to New York with a writing job, and I remember being like jealous of that when I first met you when we were both like 25 or 6 or however we were so young.
Yeah, it was weird. I was in LA. I was doing horrible.
What were you doing for a job?
Comedian. I was working at a front desk at Cycle House, which is like a Soul Cycle, and I would work there from 4:30 in the morning until noon.
Okay.
And then I was a tour guide at Malibu Wine Safari.
What is this? Do you know what this is?
No.
Malibu
What
Wine
is that?
Safari is Malibu Wines in Malibu. They
Okay.
have, it's a family run winery.
Okay.
So then they had me as a tour guide for all their animals. So they had llamas and giraffes. They had other tour guides
What the
too.
fuck? It's not a winery?
weird.
It's a winery. You go, you tour, you see all their animals and shit, and you drink wine.
What kind of animal?
What does that make
like
for? What kind of people are going to this? Is it weird? Is it adults that
Weird rich people, weird rich old people, and because the tours are $75, the tips were not very good. It
So-
was not.
So you wait. So
That is
you
such
graduated college and you just started. You hit comedy, right? You never had like a real career or anything like that before.
What do you mean? Oh no, I
like,
didn't.
Like I worked in marketing for like 9 years.
No, I
You
started
didn't do
well
that.
because I went to USC and I started
Right.
Groundlings my sophomore year.
Right.
And my improv teacher says, "You're not good at this. You should do stand up." He was like, "I can tell you're funny, but like improv is not your game." So then I started doing stand
Are
up.
they allowed to say stuff like that?
That's rude.
You know, it is rude, but it was actually so true. I was horrible at improv.
Yeah.
And people would be like, you know, you have to guess it. I remember one time the guy was like, "Oh, we're horses," and I was like, "No, we're not." You're actually not horses, and never will be.
That's
and-
so funny. Your graduation show, like his parents in the
literally.
crowd.
Yeah, exactly. I remember in UCB Improv 201, my parents and brother came. And this was like right around the time I was graduating, and I was so bad at improv. My brother put his head in his hands, and there are like 5 people in the audience, so I can clearly see my brother just going, "Oh my god."
Oh God.
That's how bad I was.
Dude, improv is so hard. I took UCB improv and I was the worst one in class. Like I couldn't do it.
But it's not, I don't even think that's like a bad thing. You know? Like,
yeah, I'm glad to hear
It's
this.
actually a really good.
No,
thing.
I'm glad to hear that you're a success story right now and that you're doing financial well, knowing that you
she was the
sucked
worst.
at UCB.
UCB.
yeah, I was never going to make a house team. Let's just put it that way. But I believe house teams make $0 an hour. So.
Oh yeah, especially back then. So
yeah. That's
okay,
true.
so what you were? So this is how old were you back then? This is like what you're 23.
I was 23 because I graduated in 14 and then I moved to New York in 17.
Okay, so you were like, so when you were working at the cycle.
But first
the
I was
thing-
Pauly Shore's assistant. That was my first
That
job.
was your
at
first
a golf.
job. How much of these 3 jobs you just mentioned? They're all assistants, like weird zookeeping jobs. Like, what are we making here? This is like not because you said you weren't doing well, right? So this is like you're barely getting by.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of hours, so you're like tired.
Yeah.
And you're doing
Stand-up.
You're failing at improv.
Yeah, so I was getting an Adderall addiction at the time.
I cannot tell if that's real or not, but
Okay.
continue.
No, it's absolutely real. And I gained 20 pounds on Adderall. Can you believe?
Wow.
Why?
That's
Because
Is
I
that a
was
thing?
drinking a
No,
lot.
you're supposed to like lose
You're
weight.
supposed to lose weight, but
Yeah.
I was eating faster because I was taking the IR. So I'd be like, just like eating baguettes like SpongeBob, you know, like.
Yo, that's
Holy shit,
crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah. So, but
Okay.
I was up, and I was also up from like 4:30 to like 11 because I would do stand up. So.
Right.
If you're not sleeping a lot and you're awake, you're gonna be eating more because you're up those hours. So I was
Yeah.
literally eating from like 4:30 a.m. to like midnight.
Holy shit. So how much money were you making during this time?
I was probably making like $45,000 a year.
That's still
40?
good.
That's pretty good.
That's
40?
well, shit. You had
Well,
three
well,
jobs,
we get three
basically, like
jobs.
about
Oh, I
3
see.
jobs.
That's-
But okay, so you did. That's very good. But you went to USC, which makes me think that
It's not very good. All my friends
Yeah.
were getting jobs at Amazon, and they were making like 6 figures out the gate.
Yeah.
And they're like, "You're doing what?" Like, and honestly, it wasn't until I moved to New York. I didn't move to New York with a writing job. I moved to New York because my manager was there, and then I auditioned for Comedy Knockout, that show.
Yes.
And they were like, "She's too nervous," because I was nervous, but
Yeah.
her jokes are good, so she can be a writer. And that was within the first week I moved to New York. It was actually crazy.
Okay, because that's
cool.
my first impression of you. I remember our mutual friend Brian Park had introduced us because you like knew him in LA.
Yeah.
And I remember you didn't really talk to me, and I was like, but you're also a writer, so I was like scared to talk to you because you have to understand, like, when you're coming up in comedy, like, I
That's
feel
so sweet.
your
You're
job really
intimidated
like
by me?
your job. Your job like categorizes you in this like weird like hierarchy, and you feel
Interesting.
like, especially when you're newer, you feel like you don't deserve someone's attention if they have a better job than you, which is the
Yeah.
thing that really happens in entertainment. It doesn't really happen. I never felt that way working in advertising. Like,
Yeah. just
just because somebody's a senior copywriter, I don't give a fuck about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll like still talk to you or whatever. But in entertainment, I feel it's very like, oh, you can't talk to him because he did a set on Conan 3 years ago or whatever the fuck.
So
you know?
being a writer is like a pretty
Well, at the
amazing
time,
thing.
it still is, but like I was so new in comedy. I was like
Yeah.
3-4 years in that I was like, oh, she's like a professional comedy writer. Like,
Yeah, that's how I
works.
feel when I hear any comedian say that they're a writer for something. Like, especially, I hear everyone say they work for Comedy Central, and I'm like, wow, they're like so fancy. Like, yeah,
That's hilarious
like,
because
I
we
don't-
just make TikToks and like do dumb shit.
Yeah, I'm like pitching like my dating life, you know, like my texting, and my boss is like,
Yeah.
no. Like,
So
it's-
was that Comedy Knockout was your first writing job? Is that Guild WGA?
no, it wasn't.
Also, it's not okay.
But it was a lot of money.
Oh, right.
It was like $3,000 a week.
wow.
That's incredible. And so you went from like I don't know why I'm imagining ostriches at this wine farm you're describing.
No ostriches.
That's ostriches. I don't know. I feel like rich white people like that shit. I don't know. But you went from that to making $3,000 a week. That's amazing.
Yeah, but I only had that job for 6 weeks. 5
Oh,
weeks.
okay, good.
So- and then the show got canceled. So that's how good I was
But
on
those
it.
6 weeks, did you feel you were like on top of the world? Because you're like in your 20s and you have this money.
I am such an anxiety. I have so much anxiety that I was like, holy shit, this is going to end.
Right.
It wasn't like I was the first 2 weeks, and then like towards the end I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do next? So literally between that job, I heard about the creator's job at Comedy Central, but the first round was like a 2-month audition process, or
Right.
maybe 3 months with the application. And so at the same time I was training to be a caterer.
Whoa.
So then the day before my first catering job, I found out I got the Comedy Central job, and I got to quit the catering gig, and I was like, thank God.
So there's only like 3 months between these two jobs.
Yeah.
And then you've been at Comedy Central ever since.
Yeah.
Oh, so you got like, I don't want to use the word lucky because you worked for it, but like you like lucked out a little bit in terms of opportunities.
I feel lucky is in terms of like being a comedian and making money, and I am so fortunate in that sense, but I still have the thing where I'm like, I want to be doing the next thing.
Sure,
I want to be
sure.
on
Of
TV.
course.
I studied film and television at USC. That's originally what I wanted to do, and I got into stand up because I was auditioning, and I was like, I'm never gonna get it through an audition. So I
Right,
started
right,
doing
right.
stand up, and I was bad at improv, but I'm trying to train myself to be happier in the moment and like happier with what I have, because I always think that no matter what career you're in, if you have the mentality of like, you have to get the next thing, you're never going to be happy no matter what you get.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's important to, I always try to do, I try to celebrate wins, you
Yeah.
know, because there aren't a lot of wins.
But you don't seem to like chase money necessarily. That's not really
Me?
You're like, yeah, like when you're like looking for jobs, it's not like really about the financial.
Now it is.
It
And is that
it
because you're a
is.
little older now?
It's because I'm older, and it's because I like to travel, and like my friends who have careers where they like have 401ks and everything. Like I like to go to dinner with friends. I don't want to go backwards where I'm like a struggling artist because
Yeah.
I care about the art that much. Like I already did that for like 4 years
Yeah.
before.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's fine in your early 20s, but now I'm just like, honestly, I would take a job at an advertising company before I would like go back to like not
Wine tours.
wine tours.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not in that place in my life. And
Right.
I always think I'll be pursuing writing and pursuing it. So
I'm curious about your relationship with money. Like, since you were young, like, did you grow up with, like, you know, the type of parents you had, you know, what kind of jobs they had?
So my dad worked, it was always, my mom was like a stay-at-home mom. And then my dad worked at the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, okay.
When I was he worked at Cox Communications. We moved to Virginia from New Orleans when I was in the 2nd grade. And then he got a job at the Chamber of Commerce.
Uh-huh.
And then he got laid off in the recession.
Oh, okay.
Around 2008-ish.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was like when you were in high school.
Yeah, my brother had just gone to SMU, which is a private school, and so
Yeah.
expensive. My dad had just, and then my brother went to college, and then my dad got laid off, and he was out of work for 2 years. So like for 2 years, my mom like got like a part-time job, like trying to get money and stuff. But it's so hard, especially at that time as a woman, to like get back into the workforce.
Of course, because she hadn't been working since you had you guys, right?
Yeah. And my mom was the #1 sales rep at monster.com, not to brag. She was literally the #1 sales rep left. And then she got laid off because she had kids and needed the benefits. So it was like so fucked. So my parents went to their broker and he was like, you should open this Serve Pro, which is a 24-hour water, fire damage restoration company. Oh. So it's like fire damage, water damage, crime scene cleanup, like blood, water, mold, like everything. Yeah. This is my parents. So my parents started, it's 24 hours. So what the fuck? And my brother's in college. So it's my mom, my dad, this guy named Billy, who was clearly addicted to meth because he had 0 teeth, but he was the best cleaner of all time. He was like spick and span, you know? And he was around the clock. Hello?
Where did they find this guy, Billy?
Craigslist, obviously. Obviously.
Where Billy's live. Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
that is,
Of course.
yeah, where Billy's go to get jobs
Yeah,
and
yeah.
die. And then I was the receptionist. So I worked for my parents
When you're in high school.
when I'm in high school. So
you
I'd go
had
to
a
school
job.
every day and then
God.
I'd go to their job and then answer phones. And I remember one time I would watch the OC on the computer. Because my dad wouldn't let me watch the OC because he said it was like a bad influence, but they were out working. So I would watch it on the computer.
Yeah.
And then this guy called for a job and I was like, still watching the OC, but like writing everything down. And then I get an email being like, whoever your receptionist is horrible.
Oh my
They were like,
God.
she's clearly not paying attention. And I emailed back, oh, yes, we've had so many problems with her. I was like, yeah, she's really going through a lot and we're trying our best, but blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, we'll make sure to take care of it. And I deleted the chain, obviously.
course.
So,
Okay, wait, this is so crazy because like you went from living like it sounds like you were just like middle class, upper middle class. I don't know
Yeah.
what House of Chambers was it House of Chambers?
Yeah, I don't know how much you make
House of
as a
Chambers.
commerce.
No, this was at Hogwarts.
Yeah, that.
Wait, what did you say? House of Commerce?
No,
Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of
Is that like
Commerce.
a government
Yeah, I
thing?
didn't know what that was.
It's a government thing.
Is that
it's
a
like
good?
Fed shit?
I couldn't tell you what it was,
Yeah.
but it's a
I love how
government
none of
thing.
us know.
Oh,
We
it's a
can't
good,
really
it's
joke
a
on
good
this because we
job.
don't
You
know.
got what you needed in your life, that you didn't have to struggle like growing up.
Yeah.
Like regular shit. But then you went from that to like where you're working. I mean, this is crazy because like we hear this story a lot from like immigrant kids, right? Like I have a lot of friends who are like, oh, I worked at my parents' restaurant or whatever. And now
Yeah.
you're doing that, but instead of a restaurant, it's like this company that cleans up dead bodies or whatever from.
Yeah. Well, like one of my best friends in high school, her parents, her parents were immigrants. She was Asian and they owned a deli and she would go and work for them. And then,
Right.
So she was like, oh yeah, we're doing like,
We're the same. How did that transition feel for you? Did you feel embarrassed or you're like, oh, but like you gotta help your family? Like emotionally, mentally, where were you
we
at?
were never like super wealthy. So it
Okay.
wasn't like we were going from like the Four Seasons to like never vacationing.
Right,
It was
right,
like
right.
we were going to like King's Dominion, you know,
I don't know
like
what that is.
it's like a Six Flags.
Oh, okay.
We'd do
Okay.
that in the summer to like not doing that.
Right.
You know,
right,
it wasn't
right,
like
right.
we had a house with a pool. Like we were able to keep our house and my brother he had to apply to scholarship, but he got it. Like
Right.
it was just an adjustment. But at the time in high school, I was so focused on, I was like captain of my dance team. I was, you know, National Honor Society. I was like doing all these things and focus. I was a straight A student. So I was so focused on doing well in high school that it really I didn't care about anything else.
Right. You're like, oh, okay, I gotta work a couple hours a week, whatever. Just put me
Yeah.
in. Oh, that's
And I
good.
also
That's really
liked-
nice.
It was also very relaxing for me because when my dad didn't have a job for 2 years, it really stressed my mom out. So it was like, it stressed him out too, but like the fear, like what you were saying, you did at the beginning of 2023, you were like freaking out.
Yeah.
My mom has a lot of anxiety. I have a lot of anxiety, no shade there, but it was this feeling of like, are we going to lose our house, you know, and that.
Oh God.
So like when they had this business and my parents were pretty confident in it, I just felt like more relieved, like, oh, and then by the time I got to graduated, I got to UVA. So I was applying to school and thinking I was going to go to UVA, but my parents had built the business enough where I could go to USC.
Oh my God. This is an amazing success story.
It is.
Yeah, they just sold their business actually.
Wow.
For
To retire?
Yeah, to retire. It's a franchise. So they bought the franchise for like, I guess I shouldn't say how much, huh? But
Whatever you want.
they bought it for $250,000.
Yeah. Which I think for franchise stuff, that's pretty. I think if you want to open a Dunkin' Donuts, I think it does cost like around that.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, and you have to take out loans. It's not like they just
Yeah.
like drop cash.
Yeah.
But then they sold it for a lot more than that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they worked so hard, and like that's the thing where people always assume like you're this rich. People in comedy will say that. Oh, I just assumed you're this rich white girl, and I was like, I mean, like my parents eventually did do well, and like even when I was doing like the front desking and that, they still like helped me a little. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie,
yeah.
but I also am a very hard worker, and I think I got that from that experience, which is like, and my dad said that too, because I was like, maybe I should become an agent, go the agency route, and then become a writer's assistant and do that. My dad was like, no, because I worked my way up in the corporate world for fucking 30 years and went to Georgetown for business school and then got the Chamber of Commerce job and got laid off. And it was so hard for him to get a job. He's like, especially when you're younger, pursue what you want and work the hardest that you possibly can, and you'll still get further than like the person who does the corporate thing and doesn't work that hard. Like as long as you are a hard worker, you can get to where you want.
I love that.
I feel so motivated.
I
right now.
know.
I was like,
We should all go like run or something. I don't know. I feel like we should celebrate.
I guess
That's
this
really
is
incredible.
I was like, I need to
Yeah.
open up a Serve Pro.
It's a nightmare. Like the jobs are crazy. Like, and my first summer back from college, and that also motivated me to get internships and stuff, and like work throughout college and have an internship every semester because I did not want to go home and work for my parents. Because like the first summer I had to do that, and since they found a receptionist, like they had built it, I had to be in the field. So like one job,
Field?
like
you have to go out.
go
Go
out
to the
and
house.
clean.
You have to clean?
Yes.
They made you fucking clean.
Yes,
Scrubbed,
in a
dead.
Tyvek
Did they pay
suit.
you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Wait.
I got paid $20 an hour.
Okay. That's
Wait,
good.
were you cleaning like dead people's houses?
So this woman died in February. They found her body in May. So me and my dad show up to the house. The guy goes, how old is she? And he was like, 19. He goes, she cannot come in this house. This woman had died. There's an outline of her body on the wood floor. It smells like fucking dog shit in this house.
You know what it smells like?
And she had diabetes and was a recluse, so she never left her house. She had been writing in shit on the wall.
What?
Like in like hieroglyphics.
Oh, so she's like not there.
Yeah, it's
mentally.
really sad,
Okay.
but this was years ago. Time passed, whatever. You know who the real tragedy was? Me cleaning this up.
You have experienced so much, my child. Since 19 years old, you see this,
Well, we didn't see the body. I just saw the outline. I could tell you.
but you saw
probably-
the crap on the wall.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
And so they had to we had to air out the house, and then we had to gut it and clean it, and that was like a
God.
huge experience. I mean, it's
Dude,
just
this is not how you want to spend your summers. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
That's
And it's
crazy. You're like
hot.
19. You're like trying to hang out with boys, and you're fucking.
Yeah,
this is insane.
But so my freshman year, I'd gained 15 pounds.
Yeah.
So that summer, I was determined to lose 20.
yeah.
And I did, because I was working out twice a day and going into the field, doing these jobs and cleaning in
Yeah.
Tyvek suits in 100-degree heat, because you have to wear a gas mask. You have to wear a mask, a
Yeah.
respirator. And so we're cleaning and all this shit. And anyway, I was cut by fucking. I had a perfect sorority rush. Okay.
That's so.
I dyed my hair
funny.
blonde. I was like, let's fucking go, bitches.
Oh my God, that was the year.
Where do you work out?
bloomed.
Crime scenes?
Yeah. What do you do? What do you lift? Dead bodies?
Oh my God.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
That is wild.
Okay, so you have this is okay. So this is your background. This is what you saw your work in. You saw your parents work really hard. How do you think? Do you think that's really informed the way your relationship with money currently? Do you have a lot of debt, or are you bad with money? I don't know.
I'm horrible with money.
Oh, you are.
Absolutely
so even
horrible
with all that motivational speech Mr. Dickinson just gave, you were
Well, it's because I also it's kind of like me with alcohol. Like I didn't really do it. I didn't really like drink alcohol in high school. I didn't really go shopping in high school. So then like, or I didn't in college either, because my parents, even though I was on an internship, like they would give me an allowance. I sound horrible, I guess.
No, that's okay. You're in college, dude.
Yeah. So
you all had parents supporting us in college. Absolutely.
Yeah, but they didn't give me money where I could like go shopping.
Right.
I never went shopping. So then after college, I couldn't really afford it because I was like, again, like doing all these things. So this year, when I first got when I had disposable income that I should have been saving, like I bought this Gucci sweater. You know what I mean? Like it's so ridiculous. And I am working on it. But I also got sober and I went through a lot 2 years ago. So I was actually talking to my dad about this. I was like, I had a year to like kind of be like, fuck you with money.
Right. Just to like sort of compensate for the awful.
Yeah. And that's and not being able to drink. And that's, I think, where my addiction like went to was like online shopping. Because I also didn't date
That's
really.
relatable.
Like I just like kind of was alone a lot. So I was buying like tube tops and like thongs and like just like weird, like I don't know. I was still on Adderall, so I was like looking in the mirror and just like taking shots. I don't know.
wait. Okay, wait. I want to talk a little about that. Just for context, like, so we don't have to get into all the details, but like, your pandemic was fucking wild. We can say that.
It was fucking wild.
Got the herpes. Okay?
Got the herpes.
Got the herpes.
$10 a month. I actually texted that bitch today. I go, hey George, just want to remind you that you're a fucking piece of shit because
I love that.
Because it's so hard to get Valtrex right now, and now I have to go book another doctor's appointment to go get my 90-day supply again, and I'm like, this fucking piece of shit. I go, hey George, wanted to remind you. Hey George, just want to make sure you remember that you're a fucking loser. And I said, I can't believe you gave me this disease. The sex was 100% not worth it, and because of my anxiety, it is so hard to manage, and I just want to remind you that you can go fuck yourself. And I know that's not mature, and
no, it's okay.
People in recovery, including my therapist, would say that's not healthy. But I was so pissed off today when my Valtrex ran out and I tried to order it, and they're like, you have to book another appointment. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
right.
This is a scam.
Wait, what is Valtrex the medicine? That's the medicine.
It's because I have such bad anxiety. It's like easier to manage, but like stress level really. Like,
wait, that's a herpes medicine or that's an anxiety medicine?
No, Valtrex is a herpes medicine.
Okay.
But because a lot of people don't have to take herpes medicines every day.
Okay.
Every day. I just do because my anxiety is so fucking bad and stress triggers it.
Yeah.
So even if I'm not having an outbreak, I'm like, I'm probably having an outbreak. You know, it's so stressful to me that like being on the medication, I just would rather not.
Mentally, it helps you.
Yeah.
Even if it's placebo. But
that sucks because it's something that stays with you forever, right? So
but as you have it for longer, it is less like
likely to come
strong.
out.
Yeah, strong in your blood. So like in like 10 years, it might not even be detected in my blood.
That's really
that's
fucking
nice.
annoying,
Yeah.
though. That's
40.
so fucking. I know it's very common.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna be 37. I'll be 37, bitch.
Okay, so that was like part one
that's
of
so
your
annoying.
wild COVID, and then you went to
my
rehab,
God.
right? And then some other shit happened, and
Well, I went to rehab because I was
yo, you can say it
I was abducted and raped in an Uber.
in fucking LA.
In LA. So I'm like so a lot of no, yeah. I mean, the podcast took a turn, but it's.
Well, we've talked about this before, so this is this is not. You're not coming out with this.
No.
information.
Yeah, I've talked about this before, and it was like a very scary experience, and it was like, it happened on my 29th birthday, and it was weird. I was on mushrooms one night, and I like was like, I have to go to rehab, and people were like, you're fine, just like relax, and then 3 days later that happened. And I was like, yeah, I got to go to rehab. But it was like a mental health thing. I mean, and I realized I also needed to stop drinking, but
oh my God,
it really fucked up my life, obviously. Yeah. And I like learned a lot about my friendships through it, and that they weren't really friendships. It was just like a very tough experience. Mm-hmm. But I also had been sexually assaulted at USC by the gynecologist. So I found out, I got a settlement for that. So that a month after I got out of rehab, which is so crazy. And so I kind of just like took this past year and a half to really just heal and like do my own thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
but I need to be more financially. Like my therapist was like, I mean, I bought an apartment, but I've just been kind of spending it like I'm an NBA player straight out of high school, and it's like, well, what are you doing?
Is your team of therapists like, you know, how long are you gonna like keep using that as an excuse to act like an NBA player? Is that where is that?
Well,
I mean, it's a horrible thing, but it's like
I have like, and even being like I work really hard, I'm also a workaholic. Like I have like the isms, you know what I mean? Like I have addiction and stuff. So it's like this year I really put it into work and spending money and trying to avoid eating, you know, just like the real hot bitch.
Yeah.
Hot bitch lifestyle.
I think you owe it to yourself to be able to do what you want honestly for the next so many years until you are comfortable.
Well, I'm going to run out of money. So I think
this is what I hear from all this is that you're a very hard worker.
Thanks.
And I do think you have luck on your side as well. I think
I have unfortunate luck, but then I got luck.
Yeah. It balances. We're balancing.
We don't know what color it is, but
I
got luck.
believe that you are able to, like, you can manifest things for yourself, and you have been working hard, and I think that you owe it to yourself to be able to do what you want. Yes, you do have a time period. It sounds like you want to be smart about everything.
I want to be smarter with it just because I also like, I mean, I donate every month to like gun safety and like Planned Parenthood, but I want to be able to be, you know, more generous with money too. I have been pretty selfish with it, but again, I'm like, I had a pretty like, it's been so crazy like my past 2 years that I'm just kind of like ready for like, you know.
You're also very self-aware. So like it is all gonna come around to you, and you sound like you already know what you're doing wrong. Like, you know, like this is not like you're going through
the sweater. She's wearing it. Does she know?
But she wears it to remind herself too.
She knows.
It's easier to take a long, hard look at myself in the mirror when I'm wearing this Gucci sweater, you know, because it's so fucking good.
This is what I want to ask you, because like, okay, this shit, what you just described, awful shit, right? But what I want to understand is because America, you know, is a capitalistic society, and I feel they prey on weak people. And sometimes I feel like, and I don't know for sure, but do you find that, like, yes, you quit alcohol, but are there expenses that come with someone who is in alcoholic like recovery or going to rehab or like even herpes, for example? Like, have you been okay, or like are there like weird expenses now you're like, oh, this is like actually kind of adding up, or is there anything like that?
Well, Valtrex is $10 a month.
Okay, that's not bad.
It's not bad, but it's like still annoying.
It's annoying.
It's annoying. It's $120 a year, George.
And it's also annoying that you have to pay for it.
Shout out to George.
You know, we need to get him to pay for it somehow.
Trust me, I've already Venmoed him and he has declined the request. So
what the fuck?
It's $10.
George, give her the fucking money.
Yo, someone find George. Tag
we
George.
Need to go find George.
But what about like,
fuck?
Is rehab expensive?
Rehab's very expensive.
Okay.
And that my parents did pay for, which I could have gone to like, they have different levels of facilities.
Right. And I want to make it clear, the rehab has been working amazingly for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I would say whatever you paid is worth it, you know?
Yeah, it has. And like since I've gone, I've 2 people in my life who needed help went to the same rehab.
Okay.
And like their lives have gotten a lot better. And like, so I feel very fortunate, and I feel very fortunate that my parents were in a place to support me, but it was very expensive. And they do have cheaper rehabs, but my friend who went to like one of the rehabs that's like it's like a public school rehab, I guess you would
What the fuck does that mean?
It's like very cheap. It's like
okay. Publicly funded
rehab. The reviews are hilarious.
There's Yelp reviews.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh God. What did it say?
It was just like, they left me out to die. Like it's just like it's like Fire Fest reviews, you know, like the food and like everything else. But and you meet some characters, but you meet characters in every rehab.
Yeah.
But it is very expensive. But I do think it's worth the expense if you can afford it. Like it's a life-changing experience. And I was trying to go to AA for so many years before that, and I couldn't like stick to it. But then in rehab, I had my brain scanned. Like I had all these therapies that just kind of opened my eyes. Also, it's kind of hard to drink again once you've gone to rehab.
Why?
Wow.
Because you're like, she went to rehab.
Oh, your friends won't like that.
No one really wants to drink with you after you come out of rehab. That's
actually amazing, because I do feel like, I mean, peer pressure is what people get people like get back into their vices because
Yeah,
like,
they're
come
like,
on,
it's
one more drink.
fine. Yeah, who
But if you
cares?
went to rehab, it's like no one's, and you make that known. You talk about that a lot. You
Yeah.
stand up. Podcast.
Well, also a lot of people have heard what has happened to me, so it's
Yeah.
like, why would I ever want to drink again?
Right.
Like, there's no part of me that feels worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And also in rehab, when I had my brain scan, they told me that they basically, it felt like a horoscope or a psychic reading, because he was like, oh, you're this % creative. Do you do this for work? Like, and he was like, your brain operates, most people operate at like a 17%, and yours operates at a 31%, but it's not like I'm smarter than everyone else. I'm just overthinking everything.
Wow.
So when I have 1 drink or 2 drinks, I am at a level where most people are normally with anxiety.
Yeah.
So that's like
Whoa.
so then my brain registers it as like a medication and like, oh, this is great. So I don't have that thing in my brain that's like, oh, you're getting too drunk. Like I'm missing that switch.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That
So
is such
knowing that, it's like I used to always be like, oh, I'll only have this many, and I could never do it. And now I'm like, it's chemically like impossible for me to drink.
Wow.
Do you feel like you're safe? This is like a weird question, but do you feel like because you don't drink, you're saving a lot of money?
So much money.
Because we had a guest on last time who Steffi does a podcast with.
Dumb. Yeah.
And we were looking at his credit card statement. It was wild. Like every week, $500 on a karaoke room.
He spent like $5,000
on alcohol, like a month.
Alcohol. He
like,
would go to, like he would buy he'd get drunk and then he'd buy the whole group.
yeah,
of
and I'm not
friends.
saying he's not alcoholic, not per se. We don't know. I don't know his.
No, he went sober after our pod.
Oh, he went sober after the pod?
Yeah, he
I
went.
didn't know that.
Our pod has changed people's lives. Like I'm talking because they are talking about these really intense, like things about their childhood and talking about their finance. I don't know, but he did go sober.
Well,
yes,
I think financially,
he's sober right now. But I kind of am curious. Like now, I want to send him to your rehab because he has started going to AA. He's open about this, but
wow.
I mean,
because of this podcast?
not specifically, but
the thing is, I think this forced him to look at the numbers, and it was like we were like blown away at how much.
Yeah.
And I know he's doing well, but even if somebody was a billionaire, was like, this is a lot of unnecessary spending.
we were.
You know?
I think he wanted to be shamed. He grew up being shamed, and we did that for him, just like by him being on
Is
the
he
pod.
single?
Oh, he is single.
He is single.
He's a rapper though, but he's Asian. So
I know. All
Is
of
he a
these
good
things are-
rapper?
is he? I don't know his music.
Yeah,
very
I mean,
well.
he's my friend, so yes, he's a good rapper.
We're on camera. He's an awesome
He's a great
rapper.
comedian.
We just
No, I'm
edit
just
this. Yes, he's a great.
Absolutely.
Wait, so do you think you've been saving money? Like, do you feel it?
Yeah, like I went to Miami actually for New Year's with my college roommate who's also sober.
Yeah.
And she recently got sober. And we used to get so fucked up together. Like one night we woke up in the middle of the night. We're like, what is that? Because we had put chicken nuggets in the oven and like passed out. Like it was just like so crazy. And we split a boat one day that was like $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
And that felt like a lot, but we had a bunch of people on the boat. Like it was so fun. It was like the funnest day. And I was like, honestly, like that was a huge expense. But had we been drinking all weekend, we would have racked that up.
Oh, for sure.
In Miami,
Yeah.
For sure.
with, like the drinks, and then you get when you get food when you're drunk, like just the shit that you do when you're drunk too is like, oh yeah, let's go get a tattoo, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
Steph and I always talk about how like dating in your 30s is weird because like money is a big part of it. And so we were talking about how like if I was a millionaire, if I was being rich, I would date all kinds of women. But if I'm at where I'm at right now financially, I feel like what your job is and how like if you're financially sound is a factor if I'm looking for a life partner. And do you still feel that way, or because you feel like you can take care of yourself, you don't really care about that as you're going on dates? Like if somebody's like, oh, I'm a skateboarder, but he's nice and he's hot and you like him and he makes $17,000, you're like, you don't care. You know what I mean?
No, I would care. No, not because of that. It's not about money to me necessarily, but it's about like ambition and where they see themselves. So like if someone is like fine with where they're at and they like a guy makes $70,000 a year, which is it's a good salary.
Yeah.
It's a great salary, but I do make significant amount more than that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I wouldn't want to date him long term because I like to go on certain vacations, or like if I have kids, I would want to have a certain life for them.
Yeah.
And like I just, if you don't care about money in the same way I do, like it's going to cause a problem. It's to me, it feels like religion. If
what
you
if
don't
they're a
treat it
good
like the
guy?
same, if you don't have the same values,
What if he's a nut?
is that bad to say?
No, I'm kidding. I'm
But I
kidding.
mean, like, you
It's
know,
What
just
if
really
he's
funny.
so nice though, and he like cooks for you?
That
Oh,
sounds.
yeah.
I'm dry as hell.
Cleans and-
By you saying that. No, that's not true. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. If I truly fell in love with someone, of course I wouldn't care. But am I falling in love with a skateboarder who makes $17,000 a year? I fucking hope not. Like, it's not. But if someone is like making less,
But like, okay, 70 is an interesting number because it's like not a lot, but not little. And I feel like someone's like a public school teacher. Maybe they only make 70, you know?
They
Maybe
don't.
the
They
cap
make
is
less
100.
than. No, they make less than that. I
Right?
think
But if
public
you're
schools make less than
principal-
that, but they have great benefits. Blah
Yeah, yeah,
blah.
yeah.
I guess I would date them long term, and I would wait to marry them until I was in a place where I could fully support a family in the way
Yeah,
that I wanted
yeah.
to, and he could be more of like the same.
And you'd be okay with that.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because I also don't know if I want kids, because I think there does need to be a parent who's around a lot.
Yeah.
And because I do work a lot, I wouldn't be around a lot. And so if a guy made less money than me, but he was able to take care of the kids, like, I feel like that would be ideal. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be daddy.
Right. Yeah.
But it's more about like, if a guy's like, I don't want to go on a nice vacation, I don't think it's worth the money. I'm like, well, I do, and I want a guy who wants to go on vacation with me.
Right,
you
right,
know?
right.
Is that horrible?
No, it's just like, so I feel like we're kind of in a similar, or I'm in the place you're talking about right now. The person I'm dating is like someone that doesn't spend lavishly like I want to. I can't go on these vacations. Like, we're about to go on vacation and I can't, like, it's like everything is so like, I have to like care
Budget
about
conscious?
like, yeah, budget conscious. It's not a 5-star hotel. It's a 4-star hotel, but I got to read all the reviews to make sure that it feels like a and it's like, oh, but he's so nice and he cooks and he cleans. And that's why I was like asking you about that. And I was like, you know, like, I'm not financially stable anymore the way I used to. So it's like, oh, but he's so sweet and I care for him. And I'm like, okay, maybe, you know, I think about the future. How am I going to like stick with this person? If I were to stick with him, I could see a future with him. I would have to make a shit ton of money. Like, cause
You got to be daddy.
yeah. And I'm okay
Or
with
you
it.
have to give up the value. Like, you have to forfeit like the nice lavish things that you want. What's your sign? You're
I'm a Virgo.
Stop, Hannah.
I'm a
Whatever you want-
Taurus. I'm a Taurus.
Whatever you're about to do, stop it.
No, why?
No,
I feel like all my horoscopes, like, you like to spend money, you like nice things, and I'm like, it's the horoscope.
No,
not
Virgo,
me.
same thing. It does say that.
Yeah.
It does say, and I'm a my like Venus is in Scorpio, which again means that I care about material things. And so like, I'm just hoping we both can like either start another business or like, you know, we could do something together, or I could just make more money in some other way. And
I also feel like we're all young enough where like money right now is not like.
are we? As a
None
woman,
of us have kids.
in my-
Like, you know, once you have kids, it's like, oh fuck, like
Yeah.
I don't have
Yeah,
that much time.
How
That's
old
what
are
I'm
you?
saying. I'm in my 30s, and I have to consider these things that, like, in the next
Yeah.
few years, I'm like, fuck. But I also want a caretaker. I need someone to like a nanny to take care of my kids. Like,
So it sounds like you need to make more money.
Yeah.
I have to make more money soon, like
Yeah.
really fast, or I have to find
let's
somebody else.
get some sponsorships in this bitch. You know?
MX, Chase, where you at? Where you at? Let's move on to our favorite segment. It is the
yes.
unofficial audit, where we look at
Yeah.
Hannah's credit card statement for the month and see what she's been up to. Get into the psyche.
Hell yeah.
What's going on?
Can you
know?
tell us also, first of all, like what credit card do you have?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I have 3 credit cards. I sent you one of them.
Yeah.
I sent my Chase Sapphire card.
So you have 3. So I wanted to ask you this because people always send us one credit card statement. What kind of credit card is this? Not like, is this your business card? Is this the one you use for like certain things, or do you just have 3 and you kind of use them equally?
I don't use them equally. I use my Chase the least.
Yeah.
Because with my to American Express, I get points for Delta. They're both Delta cards.
Oh, Delta cards. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this was my first credit card I ever got.
Since like 2015 or whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so we looked at it, and there is a few questions I have.
We have a lot of questions.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions.
Oh God.
The first one I just wanted to know is, I noticed you went to Plump Cosmetics.
I do a monthly there.
What do you do there? It looks like
What is
at the
Plump?
end of last year. We're looking at your December
Yeah,
credit
so
cards.
it's $250 a month, but I get 7 facials a year and then 1 complimentary facial for a friend. and then you get like 200 units of Botox and like 4 syringes of filler. Oh. So I got like my cheeks, I got some lips, I got my Botox done.
You look so natural. I wouldn't think
did
that
not
you,
know
that
you
there's
did
no
that.
way I would have thought that.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't tell people. But
Where you're from, I know we could take this
Wait, but
out,
it's
but
not- that's
people
not-
in New York, this is the difference. It's because you're from New York, and like I think people in LA, and I'm from LA, they care about making it look like, hey, like I look like someone that had this much
Yes.
stuff done because it means that I'm
wealthy enough to.
I'm wealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take care of myself. It's different.
Oh,
New
that's
York, you guys,
interesting.
New Yorkers are much more like I feel like reserved about it, or they want to look like just like themselves, but just like a little elevated. You
That's
know what I
what
mean?
it
Like
is,
natural. Natural is very important over there.
Yeah.
They hate the LA look.
What
so.
is Plumps? It's like a salon.
Yeah, so it's like, you know how you got me that Heyday gift card?
Yes,
So sweet. It's
yeah.
like Heyday, but they their facials are like more invasive. So it's like I got a laser facial.
Okay.
I got a chemical peel, a hydrofacial, which is where they like suck everything out. I got just like weird an aqua gold, so they put like Botox and like collagen, and they like kind of like puncture your skin a little bit.
Yeah.
It's very painful facials.
Wait, is
So this is
Botox considered plastic? It's not plastic surgery.
No,
No.
it's not. It's
Okay,
not.
okay.
It's just like cosmetic like
Aw.
upkeep. So that's did you say that you spent 250
A year?
A month.
a month on
month?
that. So that is a part of but you're not you're would you say you're an actor also? I don't
You
know.
know,
if it's like,
I wouldn't say the guild sees me as an actor.
but at some point you wouldn't mind acting if people like like you're
I've auditioned. I got a call back for a Buffalo Wild Wings commercial.
Hey, hey.
yeah, that was a bad high five, but that was dope. That is really cool, honestly. That's actually
Yeah.
250.
I mean, if that's
If
that's
people spend
important to
that
you.
much for a haircut.
Of course,
a
of
haircut,
course.
you're
And it's like
within
if
3
you add up with the Botox and the filler and all that shit's so expensive on its own. Like
that
to
seems
get
cheap. 250 sounds really cheap.
a month. No, yeah, it's a monthly thing. And I actually
Okay.
just downgrade to make it 200 because I'm getting less filler because I already have enough, I think.
Yeah, well, you could never tell.
Thank you.
I could
That's
never
the
tell.
point. I just
My
want it to be
God.
subtle.
Love it. Loves it.
I just want when
Okay.
I suck a dick, they're like, nice. I want to have a less toothy blowjob.
Doesn't say nice when they're getting a big suck.
Me?
George?
Yeah, George.
Well, okay. So I'm glad I
Okay,
asked you what kind of credit card this was because I was a little concerned that you weren't buying any food. You had, and on this credit card, you only ate twice, and one was McDonald's, and I was like, Hannah, what happened?
Yeah, I'm
Like,
doing
are you
this thing
eating
where
more?
I don't eat and I just spend all my money on cosmetic
Yeah, that's good.
materialistic.
You went to McDonald's and then you went to this place called Kismet, which we talked about the other day.
Oh yes.
Is it
We've
Lebanese?
all-
What is it? Persian? What is that?
It's Mediterranean food, and it's absolutely overpriced. And I loved seeing yours because I think it just shows like how ridiculous it is to spend that much money in LA on this type of
How much
food.
is
But
it?
80.93.
how come all our bills
No
have the-
alcohol.
Yeah,
Too.
That's no
fucking
alcohol.
insane.
And how many? Just 2 people or 1 person?
2 people.
You spent that much too.
I
You
guess
spent that-
wait. He had a glass of wine. One
Yeah,
glass of wine.
yeah. So I went with Maria and it was about $89.
That's
yeah.
fucking crazy.
That's expensive.
And I was so gassy after that meal. That was $89 worth of farts.
Show was all air. What the fuck? That's crazy.
I was tooting all night.
Oh,
yeah, I definitely wouldn't go
God.
back. And the waiters were so rude. Like I got there before my friend and they're like, yeah, your table's not ready. Do you mind waiting outside the door and like to the left? I'm like, so like outside? And they were like, yeah. And then they were like, you're a little close to the door. Do you mind? And I was like, who is this woman in gaucho pants just yelling at me?
Wait, was this a date or was it just a friend?
No, it was a friend.
Oh, it was a friend, but you paid for them.
No, we split it.
It was it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you paid for her. This is
This is just your meal. It was $80.
it was 160
We
total.
split it. Yeah, we split it.
That's expensive.
But
Or you
I
mean you
went
took
with my
this
friend
80
from college, and he's
He's a lot.
no, he doesn't eat a lot. But we just like ordered. You know, he's like one of these guys who loves
Loves
apps,
everything.
and yeah. I was like,
Loves
all
the
right.
apps.
I let him order because I'd never been there, so I was like, all right, do it up. I don't care.
It's all right. No, a couple times we talked about how it's like it's fine, but it is a little pricey for what.
And the waiters are fucking pretentious as hell.
I know they think they're hot. I don't know. Sometimes I'm
They
like,
are
I think
hot,
They
kind
are.
of.
Sometimes I'm like, am I just paying like a hot person to serve mediocre food and like that's the premium?
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. The McDonald's thing we figured out. What's your go-to McDonald's?
Oh, yeah, what do you
spend
get at
Chicken
$10?
nuggies. I got chicken nuggies. I got my dog a burger.
Excuse me?
What?
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 What are you talking about?
You get your dog McDonald's?
If I'm eating it, she's gonna be wanting it. So yeah, I got her a cheeseburger.
That is the craziest thing I've heard.
Never. Is this a
That's
thing
the
or is this
craziest
a
thing you
Hannah
said
thing?
today.
No, I mean people treat their dogs.
Yeah, to like, I mean, according to TikTok, they're giving them like quail eggs and shit. You know?
Yeah, like
turkey-
healthy things, like
turkey
things that
legs.
you want to keep the dog alive.
Okay,
I'm like, wait a second, we're going opposite of the natural.
Yo. But okay, but you know what? I don't want to shame you that. I don't want to shame you that much because like when my dad had a dog when he was younger, and Japanese people, it's very common to give your dog whatever the fuck you had for dinner. But we're giving them like homemade miso soup shit. Okay, it's not like filet
Or sweet potato.
Sweet potato, maybe. You know?
No, this is very interesting to me because I think as a dog I would want a McDonald's burger. I'm sure that tastes better.
I don't give
But
her the whole thing.
Yeah, so that's my other question: is are you getting him a separate
Okay.
meal, or is like you eat half and you're just like, here you go?
Well, I give her half. It's a her.
Okay.
And I throw the other half away because it's $1 for a burger.
Okay.
So I guess that's horrible. I'm wasting food. I'm so sorry. But again,
No.
it's $1.
I love this.
This is so
I'm gonna
You
get trolled
featured
so hard.
I'm sorry, I judged you so hard.
No,
right
there's
now.
no judging here.
I got a
There's no
meal,
judging.
so I got a chicken nugget meal and then a burger, and then maybe I got a McFlurry. I don't know.
You deserve it.
Ooh.
We love that.
Damn.
What's your go-to, Steffi?
At McDonald's, I like the 2 cheeseburgers. I think it's
the
like number
dollar?
2. Yeah, the number
Oh, the
2.
double?
It comes with the fries, but you get 2 burgers. Cheese. It's been a while since I've been there
Oh,
to
I
get a
haven't.
cheeseburger.
I didn't even know
But-
they did that.
Yeah.
Number
2
2 is the
cheeseburger.
quarter pound, I thought.
Yeah, I went through a phase, and then at one point I would just get the Big Mac. I love the Big Mac.
Yeah.
But I haven't had one in a while.
Yeah.
Honestly, recently I just get I go there for dessert, the McFlurry, or I get like just a cone, just a $1 cone, and then the coffee is like to die for.
I know the
Is
coffee
it?
is so
Right?
good.
So iced coffee,
didn't know
right?
that.
Do you get the
Yeah.
iced coffee? Yes, you have to get the French vanilla.
It's better
coffee.
than Starbucks?
So good.
It's so
Oh my
good.
God.
I didn't know that.
I mean, there's so many more calories, but it's
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. That makes
it's like a
sense. That makes sense.
milkshake, truly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's
Gotcha.
delicious.
Okay.
Okay, European Wax Center. So
I got my pussy waxed.
Yes, and I was going to ask you, what part of the body did you wax, and what is the norm?
I got my full pussy and asshole waxed.
Yeah.
Ready to bone a banker in Miami, and
Yeah.
I was completely blown off.
This is the guy.
that person
Oh,
too.
fuck. He didn't even know that shit was fresh.
Nope.
He didn't even know.
I want to know: is your type? Do you have a type? And do we hate
Horrible.
this type?
It's a horrible type. Yeah, it's like a banker who
Banker
like
type?
hates me.
But that just gets you going, huh? You're like,
Wait, can I ask? Is $10? Okay, because I've never gotten. I'm a man. I don't.
Oh,
do
a
that.
wax? No. So I have like a wax pass that I got like 4 years ago, but because I was getting laser, I couldn't get waxed. But now that the laser's over, I still have some stubble, and I was like, well, I can't show up like, like a barkeep, like.
yeah.
So I had to get the pussy waxed.
Yeah.
Okay, so $10 is normal for a pussy wax.
No, because I got it. $10 tip.
$10 tip. Oh, because you already have the pass or whatever.
Yeah.
How much
so,
is the,
so
how
how
much
much
do
does
you
it
spend a
typically
year on just the wax packs?
Well, I bought it a year ago or like 3 years ago, but it was like $120
For the
no,
year?
No,
And
maybe
then-
$150.
Oh,
So like each wax, no, maybe $200. I don't know.
Wait, what is the? So if you didn't have a pass and you're like, I'm gonna get my pussy waxed right now, how much on average does it cost?
Like $80.
Okay, so you paid $120 for the year?
No, maybe not 120. Maybe it's 250.
But that's still good
300.
because 80.
Yeah.
and you're going more than
300
3
maybe.
times.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I was gonna say I thought you paid this like I just imagined the poor immigrant woman getting paid $10 to fucking wax your pussy.
No,
You
but
get
a
$5.
$10 tip does seem cheap now. But it literally only took 10 minutes.
That's fine.
And there wasn't a lot of hair down there because I'd already been lasered. So and I had really cleaned my butthole. So it's not even like you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
wow.
You know what I mean?
I've never gotten anything waxed.
You've never got
I've never gotten
lasered?
I'm scared to get anything. No, I've never done laser. I usually keep a bush.
You rocking a
not
bush?
Yeah, I keep everything like, I don't know. It makes me feel
And
more
you've-
like I'm doing something for women. I'm not shaming
You
anyone
don't know
else,
what
but
it
like
is, but
for
you're
some
doing
words,
some-
I'm just doing something for women.
I'm
out
doing
there.
something for children. I shouldn't say
The
that.
future of
wait,
Did you say I should like cut that out. No,
Yeah, cut that out.
Have you always had the armpit? Or
no,
is
there
this
was a
new thing?
time when I was dating that. When I was 22, I dated someone that was like older, who was like more financially stable, who was also probably fit into the criteria of the type of banker you would date.
Is he single?
No, he
You're like,
married.
no, he's dead.
He married someone who created like a very famous app, who's like really wealthy. So now he's wealthy.
Mark Zuckerberg?
No, we're not going to mention this stupid dude. But anyways, it made me always feel like I had to be like hot for him. So like during that time, I would really upkeep myself. I got like fake tans, pushed up my titties.
Yeah.
I did I like
Yeah.
shaved everything, wore heels like anytime I was ever. So anyways, during that time, I was really insecure, didn't have a job really.
Yeah.
And so I just, I compensated by looking good.
Yeah.
So now that was when I would shave
Right.
myself.
But that was 10 years ago or whatever
Yeah,
the fuck.
yeah.
So now since then, you're just like,
But unless like I have a job, like if I have
what,
if a
you
modeling
shave your
job,
pussy for a job interview? What the fuck are you talking about?
if I have like a bikini type of thing, or I have to like,
Oh,
then
for
I will.
modeling.
Yeah, if they
Yeah.
ask me to, if they see me there, I will shave it, because there are certain companies or brands that they don't want it. They don't want it there.
Right.
So like, are you trying to like? Okay, so I know that you are working on yourself in other ways, but in the dating world, are we trying to find someone now who is much more like also going to be stable?
Yeah. I think so. Interestingly, after this guy bailed on me for the like 100th time, I was like, oh, I have to get off Adderall. That was like my takeaway.
Okay,
Because I felt like the Adderall was giving me anxiety, and I felt like it was like kind of like pushing me into like, I don't know. I just don't think Adderall is good for you in general.
How much is it? I have to ask a financially.
It's $10 a month as well. But I only get,
that's cheap.
I would get like, the 50 milligrams a day.
Is that a bigger dose?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's not. It's like, yeah. But I felt like it was making me like impulsive, I guess. And he was kind of like this. He's an unwell guy, and he's very. And then I found out more information after from friends. I was like, where the fuck was this information months ago? But my attraction to him, I was like, there's something off with me, because I was still chasing this person who showed me zero signs of like stability or kindness or like honesty, like everything that you would want in a person, he didn't have. And I was like, there is something in me that like needs to be fixed if I am chasing this type of person. And I was like, I just have to get off literally everything. I was also taking edibles sometimes, and I'm off of that too. I'm literally off of everything.
Congratulations.
Wow.
I mean, it's been 9 days, so we'll see.
Yeah. And you're saving some money, at least with like the prescriptions and all that stuff.
Yeah. I just feel
So-
like, but it's also, it felt like he was a representation. Like nothing was out of control, I would say. But he was like, there was always something like, should I be completely sober? Not just off alcohol, not just, I was never really into like hard drugs. Like,
Right.
So that wasn't an issue, but like, should I get off every substance? And then when that happened with him, I was like, yeah, I need to get off everything, because I need nothing nothing to manipulate, or like he was gaslighting me so hard that I was like, I need nothing that can alter my way of thinking or my emotions.
Well, okay. I want to say love, the chemical and all that can also be like a substance. It could be like, I notice, I'm not saying this is happening to you, but I know people who have gone sober and then the next thing is like slaw. Right, they're doing AA, and it's like love is this new thing that they need to like get into or whatever.
I don't even know what love is. Like it's like
yeah. So maybe
chasing
that's
this
the next
empty
step.
barrel. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe, but I do feel like now I've been better with guys too. Like if I don't go out that much. Like I'm not addicted to dating or anything. It's just like this
sound
guy
like it.
was like one of the guys that I had been talking to this year, and he was so horrible. Like just like. And I know that sounds very biased, but like he's done a lot of, then I recently found out he's done a lot of horrible things in his life. And so I'm not afraid to say he's a horrible person. And the fact that I like was so blind to it, or like didn't put myself first in that situation, I was like, no, he sucks. And it's my fault for giving him a million chances. Like that is something that is my problem.
So it was meant to be when this blow off thing happened, and now you're in a new year. And
yeah, it actually was like great. Because I hadn't seen him since a wedding we met at, and it'd been like 8 months of this like fuckboy shit. He lives across the street from me in New York.
But he rents or owns?
He rents.
Oh, he rents. That's right. I don't know. If he owned,
need to know
if he owned, he's allowed
Is
to
he worth
gaslight.
it?
If he owns in New York, he's allowed to gaslight.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then we were and then he was like, yeah, change your flight to meet me at brunch early, and I was like, all right, well, this is gonna require a layover in Atlanta, and he was like, done, and then blew me off.
Did you pay for the ticket?
Yeah.
Oh no! Wait, I thought he said done.
No, he was like
did.
done deal. Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
I thought he meant done as in like I got you. Like
No,
No.
I was like, I have to have a layover in Atlanta. It was points, so it was like 5,000 points. But
still
like,
points.
still,
We love points here.
Trust me, I love points as well. And then when he goes, and then he blows me off and texts me that night like, hey, how's your trip been? I go, are you fucking kidding me, dude? You are so fucking pathetic that you didn't even apologize. You didn't even officially blow me off or apologize. He goes, sorry, I thought it was more casual, but looking back at our text, it was more definitive. I was like, oh my God, you are a fucking piece of shit person. And now you want me to come to your hotel room and fuck you? No, bitch.
No,
This
it sounds
pussy
horrible.
is staying dry.
Wow, Hanna Dickinson, everybody. Wow. Hannah, where can our listeners find you? Anything you want to plug?
My Instagram, I post a lot of thirst traps in Miami and lost some followers. So please follow me at
Hell yeah.
HANSDICKIE.
Hell
Hans
yeah.
Dickey.
And if you want to see more lewd pictures of Hannah, also go to her LinkedIn,
Yeah.
where she's wearing a bikini chick.
I thought you were gonna say her like OnlyFans or something.
No, LinkedIn.
No.
She don't fuck around.
Okay, cool.
You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok at TheFumiAbe. That's TheFumiAbe.
And find me, Stuffy Bake, at my IG is Baked Goods, BIKEDGUDS. You could go to my website to find everything else, stuffybake.com.
We also have a joint Instagram account, Cash Cuties Pod, at Cash Cuties Pod. It's Instagram and TikTok, I think. Please follow us. And if you want to email us any like financial shit like that you're going through that you want us to talk about, please email us at cashcutiespodcast@gmail.com. And we'll talk about it on the thing. And I think that's it. Cuties, we'll see you guys next week. Until then, please spend your money wisely.
Or not, and then tell us about how you spent it like an idiot.
Bye.